Hello, everyone. I'm Jason Yang, and our research is on democratizing personal website creation through the use of generative AI. So the main problem we're facing here is to solve the high barrier of entry to web development and programming. Um, when someone wants to create a website, it's often really difficult for them to do so because there are way too many things for them to learn in order to actually create the website. And I remember when I was in middle school and I wanted to create a website, I found it really difficult to navigate the resources online that I had. It was like a rabbit hole of things that I had to learn to get to what I really wanted to do. And it was only when my school got a technology teacher that I was finally able to ask those questions and learn more about how to build a website. And many people that wish to build a website or learn how to program may not have the resources to do so or the guidance to do so. And that is one of the many problems that comes with trying to build a website. You have things that you have to learn, like object-oriented programming and just different APIs and libraries. One of those solutions that has historically been used are things called website builders. So these are services such as Wix and WordPress. If you're not familiar, they often offer a lot of pre-built components, so like text boxes and even like um, shopping stuff. Um, they're components that you can drag and drop onto an interface that you can use to eventually build a website. And although these tools are often really intuitive to use, they often lack a lot of customization, both in the backend and generally in um, changing the components in general. Um, because they use pre-built components instead of components that the user wants to define. And so our approach is to use generative AI to generate a website and or website components based on what the user wants. And how we do this is to use ChatGPT. Many of you have probably used ChatGPT before and might have even used it to write code before. And that's one of the major ways we use to build this. We mainly experimented with a blog style website, but that can be adapted to a lot of different types of websites. Since ChatGPT is a generative model, so it can generate a lot of different types of code. The application itself would be able to take in user input from user interface, query ChatGPT for code and other generative AI models to get images, and then use that code to generate a website and give it to the user. And all this is done without any frameworks, just with HTML and CSS. Again, techniques we use are ChatGPT for ideas. We use the Dream Studio API for image generation, and we use, at least with ChatGPT, we use zero shotting to query the AI models to get specific data without actually having to um, parse it as much. We use Python to code everything and the tkinter module to build a user interface for the application. Our initial solution is as follows. We originally started from a user form that starts with a title and website description. And then you feed those values into the ChatGPT API. And originally we used the Midjourney API. And with an HTML CSS template so that you eventually get a fully featured website. However, we decided to switch to using a topic kind of thing. So we have a topic like American singers and a pattern like artist perform song at stadium, where the AI would fill in the artist song and stadium. We have a number of images and features to generate, different customization options, and a demand for the AI to follow if you want any more customization. We decided to switch from the Midjourney API to the Dream Studio API, and you just use ChatGPT to generate the HTML and CSS instead of using a template. And here's a video showing how this works. yeah, that's a demo of the website. And let's get to our testings. So to ensure initially during development, to ensure that all parts of the program worked, we used some test topics. So we used a topic of American singers and a pattern of artists perform song at stadium. And we also later added a demand of website color must be vibrant. And the result of that is this color is this website. So as shown, the images were pretty high quality. And the text was representative of the prompts and patterns that I gave it. The slogans were really well authored, and the website was overall pretty well designed. There were issues with the dividers not actually showing the color that you wanted. This could just be the AI interpreting it as in that way, or an actual visual bug with the AI. But it was really interesting how it filled in some of the blind spots and assumed that the images should be in a row instead of maybe a column. And it followed the request to make the website vivid or vibrant, as shown with the pink. For further testing, we decided to test a different prompt. So this time we used Hollywood movies and actor shoots movie with actress. And we decided on 2 images this time with the same model, or say the same GPT model. We also used the temperature of 0 to make sure that the AI doesn't generate bad data. And again, it generates a good enough website and it fills in all the gaps and creates a nice UI. It features the same style of banner. So you have a big banner over here and then images on the bottom. That might be one of the limitations where you can only generate a specific style. It does all the images horizontally again, and it only generates 2 this time. However, the lights, or not the lights, the text was also kind of hard to read because that's one of the drawbacks is we query the images and the AI separately. So the AI has no idea what the images are, and so can't use it to change the color of the text to something that matches the background. And as you can see, there are a few issues with our approach. It relies really heavily on AI for all the parts of image generation, and that incurs some errors. So if the AI does error out or give an erroneous feedback, then the whole program fails. So we could add checks for this, but it's something that we want to avoid. It also takes a really long time to compute, as you can see from the video. And that's because we are using the free plan of ChatGPT instead of maybe a paid plan. It can only generate static websites, so it can't generate anything with frameworks or JavaScript or anything yet. So anything like React or Angular may not be used. So it's not really up to date with the latest web standards. The CSS component of the website were also pretty limiting because ChatGPT only generate really basic CSS. But an application to this is mainly a proof of concept of how AI can help in web development. Of course, we can use it in a more passive role. This is a more active role in actually building the website for the user. But we can give it a more passive role in that I mentioned website builders before. We can incorporate it into website builders, and instead of building actual HTML, it could build like a layout described in JSON for the website builder, so for the user to modify. That's better than just building a raw website because the user can actually change it, but it's less volatile than editing a raw website, and the user can still be assisted in some way to do so. For future plans, again, we want to build like a full website generation software. We also plan to resolve any issues that arise from bad AI queries. So improving our technique for zero shotting and just querying the AI in general. We can also expand this into a website generation or not website creation tool that assists users rather than giving the users the code. So like I said before, like generating a JSON that describes the format of the website instead of giving them the HTML. And then having the website builder itself parse that format into a HTML file. And thank you all for listening. And does anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Jason, for a good presentation and hope for work for future programming.